Have you ever suffered from arthritic pain? Has your doctor diagnosed you osteoarthritis and he just told you to exercise but you have no idea where to start? Well, in this video we will learn about arthritic pain and its treatment. So first, what it is. This is what would be a normal joint. This is a normal and healthy knee with its bone, its cartilage and its joint space. And this is probably what your doctor has shown you, something similar to this. Basically, this is what would be an osteoarthritic bone with bone spurs, which are like additional growths of bone, cartilage loss, which is the main form of osteoarthritis, and joint space narrowing. All this process, basically, osteoarthritis is a degeneration of the joint cartilage because of different risk factors that we will see, but mainly related with age and with overuse, is part of the normal course of aging in the human body. So degradation of the cartilage is the main mechanism of injury, is the main part of the pathology that gives us pain, but tissues, pathologic changes to the tissues of the joint are generalized. They affect the bone remodeling, they affect the capsule, they affect the tendons and the ligaments. So it's the whole degeneration of the joint that we are talking about, not only the cartilage, but it's a whole process of degeneration and use of our joints. Okay, I would also like to say not to be confused with rheumatoid arthritis, which is basically a different disease that affects mostly the joint capsule, and just to differentiate from them, the one we will be talking about is osteoarthritis. Okay, so first, how do I know if I have osteoarthritis? It's basically a medical diagnosis which consists of imaging plus symptoms of the patient. These symptoms refer to pain that decreases with movement, and it's usually exacerbated in the morning. Symptoms can be stiffness of the joints, it can be loss of strength, okay? And the imaging, it's usually x-rays in which loss of joint space can be evidenced, and also MRIs. And also about pain can be present or not. As we said before, osteoarthritis is part of the normal aging process. We can have very degenerated joints that where patients refer no pain, and we also have patients that don't have that much of an advanced process, but they experience pain. So this is an x-ray of the knee. This would be a normal knee, and in figure 2 you could see an osteoarthritic pain in which the joint space is decreased, mainly because that lack and that rubbing of cartilage that disappears with time and with use, the joint space gets reduced. So it's important to understand that it's a normal part of aging that won't change. Osteoarthritis and the degeneration of the joint will always be there, but we can modify how we experience pain and how we feel that lack of strength, and we can improve these kind of symptoms. So how and who it affects? It can affect different joints, most commonly the knee joint, the hip, the hands and the spine. There are different risk factors. Main ones are age, overuse, previous injuries and obesity. Obesity affecting mostly knee and spine. And it can happen young, as I said, because of overuse. It's not uncommon to see people in their 30s or 40s when they trained all their life. Martial arts, for example, it's very normal that people get hip replacements or knee replacements really young, but it's because that amount of overuse through their early life that they experience osteoarthritis very early in life. So yeah, this is an image of an osteoarthritic spine. As you can see, similar mechanism. So you can be wondering right now, do I actually need treatment? The question you should ask yourself is, do I feel pain or do I not feel pain? If we feel pain, the process in which we should approach treating osteoarthritis would be first to try conservative treatment, which I will show you later. Then, if that doesn't work, go and try pharmacology, and if that doesn't work, surgery as a last resort. If we have no pain, but imaging shows we are arthritic, what we can do is also try conservative treatment as a prevention measure so that we avoid having pain in the future. So conservative treatment. Conservative treatment is mostly going to be exercise, which I will explain in detail later, but we also have weight loss and management of symptoms. Here we have a clinical guideline, which I will link you in the video in the end, in which it shows the most effective treatments, which are in green, and which we are going to talk about, which is exercise, self-management programs, weight loss, and different alternative methods. So about strength exercise. Strength exercise is going to be the main line of work or the gold standard for treating osteoarthritis. It has many different pathways in which it's going to benefit us. It mostly benefits us by its anti-inflammatory effects, which are basically going to protect us against the degeneration of cartilage. Every time we exercise, a lot of anti-inflammatory hormones and substances are going to be produced, which are going to protect our joint from the inflammation of the constant overuse of these joints, and it's going to lead to less pain and less catabolism of these joints. Also, the nutrition of cartilage, it has poor blood supply. So the way cartilage has to get its nutrition and its nutrients, it's by movement. So that's another pathway it will affect. Also the restructuring and synthesis of adjacent structures, basically the muscles, the ligaments, the tissues. If we promote the hypertrophy and reorganizing of these structures, we will get better function. A hormonal response to decreasing pain, which is gonna make us feel better, feel less pain, feel less intensity of pain after exercising, especially if it's also related to movements or to the joint that is painful. It's gonna translate that painful signal that we feel when we use certain joint. We are gonna restructure it so that we understand it as a positive signal that movement is something our joint is okay with, we can do and feel no pain. Okay, and also control of metabolism and weight loss, which as we saw is another part important for this pathology. So how do we program training? Ideally, we would do some sort of low impact strength training. Okay, it's not limited to this. This is the most ideal, but personal preference, availability, and decrease of symptoms are more important. Yeah, whatever you feel you are capable of doing in the long term is most important. It doesn't matter if I tell you to do X amount of exercise if you never do it. Also important of progression and managing intensity. As we talked before, high intensity sustained and overuse is not recommended, it's not beneficial for the joint. However, moderate exercise will reduce these symptoms. Another important thing to understand is that exercise won't break anything. You know, the degeneration of the joint is already there. By exercising, we can only improve our symptoms we can only protect the joint, we can only make that cartilage healthy again. So don't worry about breaking anything or about getting worse. And also another note, pain shouldn't increase after training. In general, if after the first sessions of training you are feeling pain, it's probably an indicator that intensity was too high. So we may need to reprogram it. Also, a slight nuisance or pain during exercise can be normal, which usually improves as the session goes on and the joint gets warmed up. And with long-term adherence, the idea is that this pain goes down with time. So as an example, we have Lucy, who is a 65-year-old woman. She doesn't do any exercise, she's quite sedentary, and she's feeling knee pain, and she wants to stop feeling that pain. So what we could do is have different phases of training. In the first phase, we would control pain and create adherence to treatment. So we would show her different exercises targeted at the knee with very low intensity. The main idea is to create a training regime which she can follow. So that would be something like knee extensions, squats from her bed or from a chair, and knee mobility exercises. Then in a second phase, we would increase intensity, maybe adding more resistance to knee extension and knee flexion, and adding more compound exercises like hip thrusts, like free squats and similar, or lunges. And then in phase 3, we would find an enjoyable activity that can be sustained long term. So maybe Lucy wouldn't mind going to the gym and doing some machine work, or maybe she just likes going to the gym and using the bike. She likes group Pilates, whatever. It's sustainable in the long term is gonna be better than nothing. Ideally, as we said, the strength training would be more useful, but we would get a lot of the benefits from exercises with other different types of exercises, like more cardiovascular oriented. If those don't work, then we may consider focusing on strength training. And about weight loss, it has been shown to improve pain and decrease erosion in certain cases, most notably hip osteoarthritis and knee osteoarthritis. Obesity is a very big risk factor, but it's also important, the control of weight for overweight individuals. A difference in 10%, 15%, 20% body weight can be very substantial to the joint. Okay, and now as a final question, what if none of this training works? What can we do about it? Mostly, the second line of work would be medical treatment. This is usually anti-inflammatory, non-steroid drugs, in combination with conservatory treatment. Also, gene injections are considered. If this combination of exercises plus pharmacology don't work, then surgery would become the last resort with a replacement prosthesis, which would basically give us a new joint. The idea is to try conservative treatment first, basically because it's less aggressive, easier for the patient, it's less expensive as a healthcare system, and if you get a replacement prosthesis, you are gonna need conservative treatment afterwards anyways, so we might as well just try to see if we get better with exercises. So thanks a lot for watching.